We've all bought that one gadget thinking it would change our lives forever, only to regret it a week later. Today, I'm spilling the tea on organizing gadgets you'll regret buying so you can save money, time, and your sanity. First, we have wall-mounted cable organizer. Looks like the perfect fix for tangled cords, right? Until you realize you need a degree in cable management to make it work. The adhesive peels, the clips snap, and your cables end up on the floor anyway. Honestly, a simple zip tie would have saved the drama. Double laundry hamper. You think, wow, one for lights and one for darks. Genius. But it turns out to be too bulky. Takes up half the room, and those sections are way too small. You end up dumping it all in one pile like always. It's organization theater. Looks great, does nothing. Garbage bag rack stand, supposed to hold your trash bag up while you cook like a kitchen hero. But it flops, shifts, and collapses the second you put anything heavier than a lettuce leaf. Not to mention, it looks like a DIY science project gone wrong. Just use a proper bin, please. 360-degree rotating headset holder. Sounds fancy until it's spinning like a fidget toy while you're just trying to hang your headphones. The adhesive can't hold the weight, and it keeps falling off your desk. Suddenly, your cool gadget becomes a floor decoration. Save your money and hang it on a hook. Rubber gloves with scrubber palms. These scream, "I'm going to clean everything." But then water gets inside, they smell weird, and they're impossible to dry out. Also, they make your hands sweat like crazy. You'll be back to your sponge in 2 days. Label maker. The dream? An aesthetic, Pinterest-worthy space. The reality? Running out of tape, jamming mid-label, and spending an hour typing PASTA. Plus, now everything's labeled except your motivation. It's not a label maker, it's a procrastination device. Shoe slots organizer. Ah yes, vertical shoe stacking until the whole tower comes crashing down. They're wobbly, ugly, and don't even fit boots or heels. Also, who has time to carefully insert shoes like it's Jenga? Regret level, 10 out of 10. Clip-on cup holder perfect. If you want to pretend your desk has more space, until you bump it once, and there goes your coffee all over your keyboard. The clip is flimsy, the design flawed. Sometimes the floor really is the safest spot. Utensil tray with compartments, looks organized for a week. Then spoons don't fit, knives slide around, and forks mysteriously multiply. You'll end up cramming everything into the big compartment anyway. Minimalism? More like maximum chaos. Marbling storage rack. Super chic in theory, marble aesthetic, elevated design. But it chips, stains, and turns out to be mostly unstable. Don't let the aesthetic fool you into overpaying for glorified cardboard. Pretty? Yes. Practical? Not really. Kitchen appliances, sliding tray. Supposed to glide your toaster or coffee machine like magic. Instead, it catches, scratches your counter, and somehow becomes another thing to clean. Also, why is it so loud? You'll end up just pushing your appliances the old-fashioned way. Silicone spatula holder. Cute and squishy, until the grooves never fit your utensils and it collects more sauce than it catches. It stains, slides around, and melts if it's too close to the stove. Useful? Only if you like messier messes. Wall-mounted aluminum shoe organizer. Looks sleek, saves floor space. Until you trip over it every morning. It scratches shoes, can't handle heavy ones, and pulls out of the wall. Also, aluminum isn't as durable as they said. Cool concept, terrible execution. Sink topper foldable cover. Looks like it gives you extra counter space, but one wrong move and your blender's on the floor. It warps with moisture, stains fast, and takes forever to dry. You're better off clearing your actual counter. Hanging fridge tray. At first it feels like fridge Tetris perfection, then it sags, slips, and dumps your cheese slices onto the milk. Plus, it hogs space instead of saving it. Congrats, now your fridge is a chaotic game board. Magnetic wall hooks. Stick 'em, hang stuff, feel efficient, until they slide down like sad little soldiers under too much weight. Keys? Maybe. A bag? Forget it. Not every magnet deserves your trust. Refrigerator, can organizer. It promises order, delivers frustration. Your sodas roll out like they're in a bowling league. Also, who even drinks this many cans to need a full rack? You'll go back to shelf stacking real quick. Over the toilet storage rack. Looks space-saving in Pinterest pics. In real life, it wobbles, rusts, and gets in the way every time you lean back. Plus, no one wants to grab toilet paper that close to shampoo. A shelf above your head isn't always a win. Wall-hanging file folders. Supposed to declutter your desk, but somehow everything still ends up in a chaotic pile inside. Also, they droop like sad pockets and fall off with a breeze. Spoiler, they hold stress, not structure. Whimsical leg storage cans. Quirky? Yes. Useful? They're cute until you realize they don't fit anything you actually need to store. Also, they tip over if you so much as breathe near them. You bought decor, not storage. Large jewelry boxes. Sounds like a glam girl dream. But drawers stick, compartments don't fit chunky pieces, and it's huge for no reason. Plus, you'll still forget where you put your favorite ring. Bigger box is not equal to better organization. Ladder rack. Aesthetic? Absolutely. But hanging towels, bags, or literally anything practical? Not so much. It becomes more decor than storage, and eventually just collects dust. Climbs in looks, falls in function. Hat organizer. Supposed to display your hat collection like a boutique. Ends up creasing the brims and tangling like a wind chime in a storm. And when one falls, they all fall. More like a hat trap than a hat rack. Hanging plastic bag holder. Finally, a place for all those plastic bags. Except it's flimsy, overflows fast, and somehow still takes up space. Half the time you forget it's there. Might as well just stuff bags in a drawer. Tall, narrow storage cabinet. Perfect for small spaces. Until you realize nothing actually fits inside. Shelves too short, drawers too tight, and it topples if you sneeze near it. Looks tall, acts small. Functionally, it's a glorified broomstick. Clothes drying rack, a laundry savior? In theory, but it's unstable, takes forever to set up, and clothes end up draped over chairs anyway. Also, where are you even supposed to put it in a tiny apartment? Your towel deserves better. 3-tier corner shelf. It screams extra storage, but delivers wobbly regret. Corners aren't its friend, it never quite fits. Add a little weight and boom, it's a mini landslide. More stress than shelf. Wall-mounted bathroom slipper rack. Looks neat until you're trying to wedge damp slippers into stiff slots. It falls off, rusts fast, and doesn't even fit fuzzy ones. Also, why are we displaying slippers like art? Put them in a basket and move on. Purse organizer. Looks like a luxury handbag hotel, functions like a plastic tent. Folds in on itself, crinkles under pressure, and your tote still won't fit. Closet chaos, now in 5 matching pieces. Storage bins for office, said to be organized elegance. Actually just plastic chaos containment. The lids either snap too tight or not at all, and stacking them is a high-stakes balancing act. Congrats, your clutter now has a uniform. Vacuum storage bags for clothes. Great until they puff back up overnight like haunted marshmallows. Half the time the seal doesn't seal, the zip doesn't zip, and suddenly your winter coat is fatter than ever. You're vacuuming your hopes, not your clothes. Tumbler lid organizer. Because obviously your tumbler lids needed their own condo. It's always the wrong size, doesn't hold the weird lids, which is all your lids, and ends up being another piece of clutter in the name of decluttering. Sip slowly and just use a drawer. Wall-mounted flip-top organizer. Looks smart, feels smart, is not smart. The flip-top flips too far or not enough, and it either eats your stuff or catapults it into another dimension. Wall-mounted, yes. Usable, questionable. Double grid refrigerator organizer. Supposed to maximize fridge space, but ends up hogging half a shelf. Things fall through the gaps, it slides when you breathe on it, and suddenly your eggs are on a downhill adventure. Cold chaos, but in 2 neat grids. Under cabinet hanging rack. You install it thinking it's genius. Fast forward, it tilts, clangs, and becomes a kitchen hazard. Holds about 2 mugs and a grudge. Also, every time you open the cabinet, you duck. Your forehead deserves better. Magnetic knife holder. Looks sleek, feels chefy, until your knives either won't stick or stick too well. One false move and it's a game of Will it fall or slice my foot? It also turns into a rusty wall sculpture if your knives aren't bone dry. Bonus points if it randomly decides to demagnetize like it's on strike. Just use a drawer and save yourself the anxiety.